So, Bell & Ross, and I do like Bell & Ross. Okay, let me take you inside. Now, so literally as I'm arriving, I wanted to show you, what it's like to walk into a booth like this. And so first of all, because there are some, I imagine all these are new pieces. This looks like the BR05, and because there's no one here, let's take a look at this model. Okay, so we've got a BR05 Chrono there, and so you can freeze the frame there. But I'm a captive audience. I love chronographs, and that blue is very, very nice. Oh yes, and I love the lighting in these places because it's so camera friendly. But let me go over to this piece. Oh, that's a very interesting colour dial. So this is it's the iridescent, the BR03 there we go. And the iridescent describing the colour and the lustre of the bezel there. Yeah, that's very nice. Yep, that's very, very nice. Look at that. Okay, and over here, now I've had this in my hand before, and it is a piece that I do like myself, and it's the X5 Racing in titanium, and that bezel is actually carbon fibre, and the subdial to the left, I imagine that reflects the styling of the instruments in a racing car. But for me, it's the colour and the visual interest that it adds into the watch. And I might be able to zoom in again. Oh yeah, look at that. That's just so cool. Isn't that lovely? I do like this watch. So it's always interesting talking about a watch when you actually like it, because it makes you want to be quiet and look at the watch. And we have some more X5 models here, but I'll let that gentleman take a look at those. But the one thing I wanted to show you was this. Now this is the BR03, and it looks pretty cool here. Now, I mean, this is about 10 meters high, but the reason that I'm showing you that there is because look what I'm wearing here. Now, isn't that cool? That is so cool. Now this watch feels fantastic. I love the fit, the weight of it. It's absolutely, it's very, very nice. And I love the fact that I've got a big version there. It's very, very cool. But because there's a little bit of space here, let's go over to the BR03. And of course, some people that know of Bell & Ross, they'll be very familiar with the diver pieces here, aren't they? Oh, look at that one there, the one in blue. That is very nice. Yeah, that's very striking. Yeah, it looks like there's some French information on the dial. So you'd have to forgive me. I don't always know all the background to these watches, but I think the most important thing is that I can actually show you them. And oh, I love these the colours on those two. That they're it's like a beigey brown, sandy colour. I imagine that people that like colours other than the traditional colours, they might like those because they look very nice. And of course these colourful, I'm assuming that's the GMTs. They are, yes. Yeah, aren't they nice? And of course we've got some skeleton pieces here. Look at those two. They're very nice. And there's some new pieces here that we'll come to in a moment. But I wanted to show you this this display because it was actually free for a moment. Okay, so if I come over to this window, we have an 03 skeleton. Now, if I zoom in on the title there, and that does look very intriguing. Look at that dial. I can probably zoom a little further. Well, that's very cool. I do like these utilitarian. I suppose you might argue that a skeleton dial is perhaps more heading down the mechanical art way, but for me, it gives you that industrial skeleton utility vibe. Well, for me anyway, these are my words, but I do like that. I imagine that people will find that very attractive. That will look great on the wrist, especially if you're wearing something like a white shirt. How nice would that be? Okay, so I'll come back to that one. Now, this is one of their new pieces, and straight away you are in. I was intrigued. The BR03 Astro. Now, look at that dial. Now, I'm assuming that the satellite there is either the second hand or the minute hand, and I think the moon to the left, that's got to be the hour hand. But look at that. The way that they've done it, they've got the Earth popping out. It's so, and I love that red detail there. I'm assuming that the red detail is the second hand actually. The satellite is the minute hand. But that's really nice. Yeah, that is cool. I'm going to zoom in a little further. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. This is the Astro. I really like it. Right, I'm going to try and get my hands on this. But that is that's a talking piece. Imagine being at a dinner party and someone asking you about this. That's a very nice watch. That's very delightful. Now, we have. I'll come to my right because this one is available. So we've got a couple of skeletons here, and black ceramic and Luminous ceramic. Oh wow! Aren't these nice? Skeleton dials do appeal, especially to people that enjoy looking at the artistry of the mechanical movement and what's below the dial. It's so interesting, and of course, I have one on here. I do like it myself, but look at those, aren't they nice? Okay, let me go over to this. Has really caught my attention because again of its visual impact, and of course it's got a cockpit, instrument vibe about it, but that visual interest with the horizontal line in that dark orange color, and this is the Horizon, and the BR03 Horizon, and isn't that nice? Look at that dial. Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, I like the Astro there. This has that visual interest once again. And right, okay, because this aeroplane is free, let's go over to this jet that I believe that the French Army use. Now, this jet is the Raphael. It's used by the French Air Force, and I do recognise it because of its little wings here. Now, I do believe I've been watching this aircraft fly overhead in the south of France. I recognise its shape, and in real life this thing makes a lot of noise and it's incredibly fast. This is the high technology world that we live in, and I love it actually. I like the way that this watch in particular matches the vibe of that aircraft. That's very, very nice. Look at that. If you like aviation, you'll love this. It's very intriguing. But what I didn't do when I first came in is go to this display. Now this is the 36mm 05, and I think because of its smaller size, people are going to like this. Now I could wear that. Would I have a 36mm over a 38 or 40? Probably not, but the sizing of it really does open the options for it. Actually, 36mm is big enough for my wrist, that's for sure. But I love the black one there. That is super. That's very, very nice. Okay, and once again, look at this room. I love the feeling of space and interest. And let's go back to the BR03. That is certainly one of my favorites. So I have some fabulous Bell & Ross watches to show you here. Now, on this table, I've got the BR03 and the 05 ranges. These are the larger 40mm models. And I've also got a tray of the 36 models here. We'll come to those in a moment because they are super. Now, of course, we've got a chronograph here. Straight away, because it's a chrono, it grabs my interest, and I love the presence of it. In fact, let me put this over my wrist. I won't fasten it because on camera it might take some time, but look at that. Now this has a leather strap with this wonderful buckle system that doesn't have the minder, the loop. So this part of the strap goes underneath that part of the strap. And it's a very, for me, it's a very smart, clever way to deal with to not have a strap loop. And it's a buckle that I really do like myself. So when I saw that, straight away I thought, you know, that's great. And of course you've got all the adjustable holes there to fit this. But this blue dial, it has a sunburst effect, and it really shows the sub-dials. And of course you've got the push buttons here on the left. Aren't they super? They are very nice. And of course the engine room at the back and the winding mass. Oh, that is so nice. Yeah, that's lovely. I'll put it over my wrist again. Yeah, if you're a chronograph fan and you like this aesthetic, this is lovely. This is exactly the sort of thing I like myself. So it's very nice for me to have a look at it like this. But look at that, isn't it lovely? Now, this is one of the new looms. Now, so we have lights on here, but even with this, you should be able to see the luminous effect there. There you go, even with the lights on. But I do like the visual interest that provides. It's really nice. That is lovely. And I'll put into the frame the 03 that I particularly like, because like me, I find that when I like a style, I always want, you know, the other variant also, or the other colorway. It's one of those hazards with being a watch collector and enthusiast. Now this has a rubber strap, and I must admit the build quality, or I must say the build quality is delightful. I don't know what they've done, but the build quality, the manufacturing quality is unbelievable. It feels such a premium, it feels a lovely strap. It feels very nice actually. When I put the other one on, I thought that the strap is this is very comfortable. If you are a person that likes comfy watches, these straps certainly provide that. But isn't that nice? Yeah, I do like that. And in my previous video, I pointed the skeleton dial out. And you know, if you like visual interest and mechanical artwork on display, this does that. It has a very nice balance, but it does pull your eye into the dial. And I love the colouring of this. And I think I said, imagine wearing this with a suit or a shirt or a white t-shirt. So I'm using my words. That's how I look at watches often. I look at what I'm wearing. Well, actually, I choose the watch first, and then I decide what I might wear. But this has a great appeal for me because of the colour. It is super duper. Now, what I will do is I shall put this tray to my right, and let's bring in these new 36mm pieces, because I think people are going to like these. Now, the one that I initially gravitated towards was this black dial, because can you see the Bell & Ross DNA here? I do like it. I really do like it. And I've got to say, it gives me the Patek Philippe vibe, actually. I hope Bell & Ross don't mind me saying that. But yeah, I like it. And that is super. Right, so this is getting a little smarter. And once again, I have to say, that's 36mm, and it wears fantastic. In fact, that's 36, that's 42, 41. Look at that. I love large watches. I mean, I love watches, so I don't really have a problem with 36 either. I suppose it's this is definitely more wearable in the office, for example, with a suit on, for example, because this is going to be easier to wear, and it's much smarter. For me, I would want this, and I would want that. I would want this one, although you know, I probably gravitate towards the larger watch because I suppose it's my personality really. But this is fabulous. If I wanted to be very smart, this one in particular is the one that I would go for. I do like it. You can see I like it because it's the one that I've got on my wrist for the longest time. But that is lovely. Let me put this. Okay. And so some people do like to see the buckle mechanism. This has a double folding butterfly clasp style. For a metal bracelet, this is perfect. This is the sort of buckle that you want, push button, and it makes it look very smart when you're wearing it. I do like that. Yeah, that's a watch that I do like. Now, of course, a silver dial, and this is a pearl effect. Now that's going to, you can see this is perhaps, you might consider this is even smarter than the black dial. Probably not, but that dial and the way it shimmers in the light, and it's sort of, you can see those indices against the pearl dial. It's lovely. Yeah, that's very nice. Okay, now oh yes. Now look at the blue of that sunray dial. Okay, that's very smart as well. So these three here, in fact, okay, let's pull the silver dial in. Yeah, now I'm looking at them. If I had to choose one, it'd be very tricky. Someone like me, I'd want the whole lot because they're going to match. They're going to be perfectly matched with what you're wearing. But aren't they nice? Actually, the silver dial, that is super. Okay, very, very nice. This is a very nice release from Bell & Ross. You can see that these are going to be a crowd pleaser. They're very, very nice. But because the Astro is here, and because I like it, I've shown it to you before, but let me show it to you again. This is so cool. I love it. The second hand, the little red dot there, that is cool. Sorry, no, that's the hour hand. So the satellite is the second hand because you can see the satellite moving around the Earth, and the moon is the hour hand. Look at that. And again, imagine being at a dinner party or in a business meeting. You wouldn't get anything done in a business meeting because I'd be watching that satellite rotate around the Earth. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Yeah, the person next to you would want to see that. They'd be staring at your wrist the whole time. That's very, very cool. I like it a lot. Okay, I'll put it back on the table there. Anyway, these are some of my favourite Bell & Ross releases. Aren't they lovely?